Furia is the only team to go through the open qualifiers and make it this far. I will put an asterisk beside Vitality.
Yes,
Technically, they did it as an organization and as a unit, but they've players that have storied and had appearances here before. These guys have never, not one of them, shown up at a major.
It's exciting. This is another team, as the analyst pointed out, has got the Brazilian blueprint there. They've got scrappy, talented players that know how to play the game, and this could be a little bit of a difficult affair for NIP. Yes, they're the heavy favorites going into this one, but they can't take this game lightly. Every team that's turned up to this event is going to be dangerous, and we'll see who kicks things off with a victory in the pistol. It will be a T-side start for the Ninjas as they head into things with 2 smokes, a couple of flashbangs here, and 5 players heading towards B. Suggests to me 2 smokes at the pillars, or they could smoke kitchen and have that deeper smoke towards the short box, and we'll see which one comes through.
And you're right to say they can't take this lightly, because NIP and previous majors, or as this used to be the qualifying stage, they've been upset before. Art is going to perform Art by removing Rez's head, but Get Right's got the trade as they dropped into B. Through the smoke, bomb to be planted, Vinny can't do much, and Dennis takes him down. So that leaves us in a 4-on-3 in favor of NIP with bomb down and time to play with. But no kids currently in possession of the CTs.
Well, here we go. It is going to be the advantage for NIP here. Those were the smokes we saw to give them access towards the bomb site, but now receiving bullets left, right, and center. It is going to be Electro to give them the edge, though, as Keistarazzo will have to do what he can here and hold on with the USP. He needs to find a quick kill here, which he absolutely gets, but time is ticking away. He hasn't got the kit he has now. It'd have to be a kill right here, right now to stand a chance. Need to find the bomb first. We'll go for a desperate fake defuse here. Electro can just bait that out, and at this point, he's won the round. It will be NIP victory here in pistol. And just to confirm that everyone goes down, you can see indeed nothing will be saved. All 10 players dropped. That was the smoker kitchen, the deeper one towards short as well. Go out with a flashbang there, trade out the kill. Art did pick up that first frag, but it wasn't enough. Traded out quickly, bomb planted, and NIP swarmed the site. And we can assume it will be an eco in the second round. Mirage doesn't really lend itself to a force buy in the second on the CT side. You only really see that on maps like Inferno, where you can play like a gun round with CZ's armor and a smoke. Mirage, you can't really do that. It's too wide, it's too open, and the rifles will just take you down. And that's exactly what NIP have got here. 3 AKs, 2 UMPs, majority of the utility in hand as well. Smoke towards the kitchen, Molotov towards connector as they get that famous and kind of promising mid-control here. It's going to be Forest, just confirming no one's towards short, and they'll hold up and see what the reaction is to the initial play here.
Yuri already holding off toward the top side of the ladder, has support inside of the window directly, but that's going to subside as Able J, Alt J. It's going to rotate back down to the top of connector. Forrest was already up close, did peek over toward Catwalk, but elected then to fall back instead with the UMP. Very quiet, Henry.
It is. Almost too quiet. But they're making their way back towards A. This will be more of a contact play with maybe a basic smoke towards CD spawn. Flash res out the apartment, see if they can open things up and just trade. Nothing too technical here. It's not really required. Here we go. The contact play coming through. There's a smoke towards spawn. Headshots coming through. But there will be a kill for the CTs, but that's probably all they're going to get. A second comes through, actually, so things get a little bit more complicated for an IP, but they can plant it now. That's exactly what happens. They take another headshot here. We're not done just quite yet, but maybe we are now. The grenade comes through. 2 players go down, maybe a third with Reds so close to death, but it wasn't going to happen towards the end. He manages to negate that, and they will find the 2-0. And now it's up to Furia to bring out the rifles. Now, they could afford the AP. Will it be possible? They've got 5k on 1 player. Not going to go for it, though. They're going to have the 4 rifles to make it 5 now, and there's Rez coming out the apartments, getting it done as it goes 2-0. No problem. But a difficult round. Fury up. Might have to go for initial pick, maybe some mid-control at the start, but we see the aggression. There are 3 players heading towards that position, and indeed, missing the jump. Vinny will actually have to fall back and hold towards connector. He wanted to jump up towards short there, and I love this. Execution plays when you know the money weak on the CT side is perfect. They probably don't have incendiaries, Matt, or the AWP. You've actually got a huge advantage here. Let's see if it works out.
Serrano in behind the bench, the jail, but he's already been arrested by the warden, it seems. Rez, that's not to say that they've got the advantage, because Art and Vinny rotate back in, and Art, he's going to retake that backside of the site, get toward the van as well, and that means he can actually aggressively peek at position which the previously thought was clear. To me, that's the recipe for disaster against NIP, and it certainly is exactly that as the bomb dropped to the balcony, and just Forrest remains.
A nice idea, but well held by Furia. NIP go for the execution towards B for the reasons I stated above. They just wanted to try and exploit the fact there was no utility or AWP. They get their first trade actually in their favor. It was looking very good, but all of a sudden the Orgs rotate in, find the headshots, deny the plants, and as you can see, Furia looking comfortable there. We saw them almost in a kind of meditative states when they were coming into this one, closing the eyes, breathing, making sure they were calm and kind of focused mentally, I think, going into this one.
Well, it's good to see that they are taking this very seriously. I do very much enjoy their logo. That's a sticker worth keeping. NIP. Already holding off towards top side. Well, of mid that is. We'll have to work back over toward B. They force Vinny off the angle. And Vinny, ready with the AK-47, is happy to give them the second, ready to fight and wait for his teammates' support, but that's not going to last long. Get Right swings around CZ-75, and Dennis adds to it. They might bail already, and even if they want to do that, Get Right's not going to allow them. He pounces directly on top of them. And despite that Dennis took damage, they've not lost a person so far in the round, and they've got the bomb down.
Well, it's NIP really focusing on that B bomb site time and time again. As this time they're a lot more successful. You could see Fury allowing them to actually get out of the apartments. Had one player there. He gets a little bit of damage off, but no kills found. Dennis goes to 2 HP, but the round was already over once they managed to get onto the bomb site floor.
The Brazilian scene obviously had the dominance of SK for a period of time now, MIBR, and much like Na'Vi, they're the team that leads the way for the region. But these guys, this South American region, they're turning out to be like another little CIS, aren't they? They've got a lot of talent we don't see enough of. Much like Vega got onto the scene through the majors and minors, which that's a proven formula. Look, when the minors came in, everyone thought, well, these are useless. Those teams are just going to get wrecked when they get there anyway. Yeah, but now we're seeing a lot more of them. It's better promotion for those regions, so well done, Valve, for bringing those in years ago now. But, you know, you see Vega, Avangor getting a lot more of the Kazakhstan players in. You're seeing that there's a wealth of talent. We're starting to see that from Brazil.
Absolutely.
These are another 5 names on top of guys like Cello. How many teams have we had? All of the Immortals players, Steel Bolts that have been around, QKZ, Qquikla, whatever it is, and when you actually say the name, I could never say that.
Sure.
I mean, there's so much talent, and it's great to see. This team as well has been getting a lot of support from one particular superstar, in Neymar Jr.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible.
I have a feeling he might have some investment in there. I'm just going to say it.
I think you might be right, but maybe he's just a passionate Counter-Strike fan. We've seen him play before on his Instagram, but either way, it's exciting to have that level of celebrity endorsement, you know? That team, to have that kind of backing by is pretty exciting nonetheless, as we'll see. NIP missed that initial smoke towards the window position, but making up for it, didn't lose a player, and there's no auction reports out yet whatsoever. You can notice that NIP, not necessarily an AWP squad anymore. They've got players who can pick the weapon up, but more under that philosophy of having it when you require. As Arts, one more tick of that Molotov is going to take him down 5 HP. Vinny will join in the fragging, but it will be another comeback here for Dennis and Co. As the FAMAS does damage, Huey now is in a horrible position. He's certainly going to burn to a crisp as he goes back to a 3-on-3. Arts on 5 points of health, and Vinny with the AWP is going to be pushed off position as the Molotov comes through. Do NIP want to commit at this point? With 35 seconds, I would suggest they probably have to, as the smokes will go down. They'll get that farm down momentarily.
The smoke, Vinny trying to get some luck with the 3-on-3 round. More important for Furia at this point in time. Kisarato comes out worse for wear, trying to fire on Dennis as he walked in from a main. They'll go for the boost. Can't unfortunately get up on top of that platform. It'd be a very powerful position if you could, but you can stand behind it. It limits how far to the left, obviously, you can peek, and with the bomb planted exactly on that side, I couldn't do anything of it. And look at the HP as well. I'm afraid this one's over again for Furia, and it's NIP now in a 4-1 lead.
Absolutely. There was a moment there where it was looking uncomfortable, but well-placed grenades and Molotov cocktails allow NIP to break open that A site, and Dennis doing most of the heavy lifting there. He gets 1 kill, but he managed to flush out that second player as well, and the CT's boosting up was a nice idea, but unfortunately the bomb planted towards the connector. You would have them almost useless there, and it's going to be Art and Kisarato to save the weapon. Will they survive? And it looks like they probably will, and those CTs will be confronted in this particular save, so they'll hold on to the rifle and the SMG, but not really enough to justify a force around that. They're going to have to maybe just take PT50s with that. I wouldn't suggest a heavy investment at this point, especially when you're 4-1 down. Best of 1. And NIP are suddenly the favourites going into this, as you'll see some replays and some decent kills coming through from Furia to kick things off, but this is where Dennis really came into his own and threw that Molotov that essentially won them the round. So nothing purchased around the rifle. Keserato though with the AK. No reason why he can't just go absolutely ham here and actually find a couple of picks and maybe win them the round, but something ridiculous is going to happen as Art positions himself in Palace. He's actually quite deep inside that though. No one to be found. So will that be a clue? They'll go off a stack because he's got no information.
Serato up on top of Cinders. That's a well-timed boost, and they'll catch out Lekro in mid. Chad was saying in his scouting reports, something along the lines of late mid-round holds. Cleverness didn't catch it all as we were running to the desk to go live, but maybe that's what
he said something, though. That's all we know.
Chad said something. Breaking news. Actually, that's just normal news.
It's going to be the beast player here to try and close things out. Rez with a much-needed shot there towards the bench position. Have they cleared out CPL, though? I don't think they have. So the backstab potential is pretty remarkable here, but Vinny only has the USP. Looks like Rez has got it under control. As soon as he goes on the corner, he is done for. And there you'll see the headshot delivered. And presumably the round, as that's the AK removed out of the equation as well. Oh, this is a crafty little boost. You can see him looking for exits here. So not going to win the round, but might get them a kill.
Yeah, I've seen this many times on the opposing side where it's actually harder to see through the fence, but you try and peek in toward the back side of the A site, so it's really just to save the weapons, of which there is default weaponry and no purchasing. Just don't want to give anything away, do they? Art does have the UMP at the very least, so kit, armor, full armor at that. He'll get out, get away, and it's going to go 5-1 for NIP. So far this is going very well for the Swedes. Sweden, after all of the flack we've given them for falling off, having get right now among the oldest teams here at the major, I think NIP is within the top 5 average age in terms of being older, top 5 oldest teams average at this event. Obviously dominant way back 2013. This is 2019. Where does the time go?
Yes.
We've talked about how Sweden's kind of fallen underneath of Denmark. Interestingly enough, at this major, they are the highest represented nation. Olaf remains the only full-time legend.
Sure.
The only one to make the top 8 every single major. But he's one of 13 players. So that's how many more there are here. Whereas, again, Denmark, they're 12 less than the 17 they had last time.
Yeah, they have what? Just 5. That's it. That's Astralis. That's absolutely it. No North, no Optic, no Heroic. And that's especially for Optic, right? Considering where they sit in the scene and the players they have and the organization, that is quite a shocking statistic. We don't have them at all.
It's fairly new in some ways for that lineup, but at the same time, they're coming into this major, I'm going to say, as with no distractions. There was a great opportunity to boot camp and practice and be ready to go.
Sure. Well, NIP, they seem like they've done their homework at least. Good start from them. 5-1 on the T side of Mirage. Looking to start their Swiss format section very successfully here. Get the 1-0. Call it a day. Execution towards A looks likely. Nothing too flashy here. The standard smokes come in. Able looking to shut it down with the auto. Saving himself for a split second. And takes a lot of damage for it. That's the wallbang with the all coming through on the T side. 5 versus 4. Is there anything that can be done here as the Molotovs deployed towards CT spawn? That will be extinguished by the smoke, but not planted. But NIP are more than happy just to hold up and find frags that will be delivered to them on a plate here.
Better bring a fork and a knife. Or some chopsticks.
Yeah.
Maybe just eat the dog. Lekro's going to take down Vinny, and that leaves us with just Keserato and Yuri. Get right already inside a sandwich as well. Means that even if Keserato wants to work back in the site, finds one frag toward Palace. That access, he's got both a repeat at Firebox to worry about and someone deep if he wanted to peek further. So already shut down. I like the little imagery of our trophy on the left-hand side. It is already in our studio. We get to stare at it all week this week, probably all of next as well, and then finally someone will claim that's
quite a specimen,
trophy.
Isn't it?
It is. I don't know if I've been working on it a while. I don't even know if I can lift that.
You're going to need some big arms for that one. I'm going to tell you.
All right, just give it to Blame F. He'll pick it up.
Bring him in, fly him in, just for the trophy lift moment.
Blame F versus Pasha.
Yeah.
Freakazoid's third. I don't know who wins between the two that I just mentioned. I don't know who wins on the exchange there. The viewers for seeing a spectacular shot, or Forrest just for getting it. Rez is also going to use one bullet and find a kill. Vinny's dropped already, and it's down to a 5-on-3.
Yeah, and IP are looking pretty dangerous right now, but there's a nice shot from the Desert Eagle, but doesn't last too long. Just the one kill found. It's going to be 7-1. This is not looking good. Furia will have to do what they can. Bring out the orbs, I'd assume, next round. Maximum loss bonus coming through. Maybe a double orb setup. That normally is the case. Like, I've had this discussion with you a million times. The fact when it's so far gone, it feels like everything's going wrong. You've got a buy coming up. You might as well change the system completely, bring out that double orb, and just mix things up to completely change the pace of the game. As we just have one player remaining now, holding towards CPL. Deagle has got the body armor, plenty of cash in reserve as well. That will almost be doubled going forward. You can see them looking towards that short position, and the 7-1 confirmed, and $7,100 on Katowice. So surely the orb comes out now, if not two of them. There's the first on Art, he's the main orber, and there's the second for Katowice. So indeed, we do see the double orb setup. Will it be the right recipe though? Because like I said, NIP, if you look at those names, Matt, there's not an AWPer that jumps out on the page. Forrest used to be like secondary AWPer in the squad when Ali was there, and then to an extent when Pitt was as well, they kind of share the responsibility. This team, they can have AWPers, so like Lekro can AWP, definitely, so can Forrest and Dennis, but...
Sure, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to cut you off. Michael Lely, Ali, they both came in as AWPers. Delpan was tried out, but even when they were legendary at the time, you know, the early run, they didn't have a double op setup, or excuse me, even a single op setup. Abe, getting two as Abel gets forward as well with the AUG. It's responded, but this is the first time they've had a sustainable opening pick and actually the advantage at 7-1, so they can try and slow down NIP this time. In fact, get right. Walked through the flames to find cover behind the boxes and took further damage. Point of that was when they had for Flaren. Forrest was obviously the go-to. You get rid of Alu and you went back to that hybrid style. We just finished talking about 2 games ago the fact that the double op is extremely formidable in the current meta. So NIP's kind of on the back foot in that regard.
Yeah, it's an interesting world to be in when you know that you're going against the grain almost. But for now, NIP, 3 players, less than half health, have to hold up and wait for mistakes to be made. You can see Dennis poised. He's aware of a player tucked away in the corner there. There's actually 2 of them in that position. Being very patient. That smoke actually will give away his position. You've seen the trajectory it's thrown from. Now Get Right hoping he can get a kill here, but looks at the round he's done at this point is trying to do financial damage. Looks like he'll get nothing, but that's a great shot by him. If he gets the second, it's a very expensive round, but still, lovely shot towards Spawn. Furia finally gets something there that looks promising. They're getting a round that's clean. They get the opening couple of kills and actually save both orbs going forward as well. They need to avoid the reset. Speaking of AWPs, Forrest will bring one out for the first time in the next round. Here he comes, able actually spraying a couple down before the response came through, and that actually secured the round and managed them to get comfortable positions and not overextend and have to challenge and be scrappy. So there we go. 7-2. All power for Forrest. Certainly capable of using the weapon, but let's see if he can challenge towards the middle here. Smoke down towards window, and they're going to get control quite easily at this point as they focus towards connector.
They're going to go through and actually down. I thought he had a jump on Lekro, seemingly not, and he's got another through the smoke. Vinny, he's got 2 back, though. Vinny, it's like New York City, you know, like,
yeah.
Hey, Vinny! Hey, Vinny, give me a hot dog. I don't know why that came to mind, but that's exactly what it reminds me of, okay?
He's walking here. You hadn't noticed.
I'm walking here.
There you go. I wanted to do it, but I thought
Sorry, you working here or you walking here?
Bit of both, actually. But
yeah.
For now, 3-on-3. You can see that smoke available on the CT side. They have the incendiary as well. Well, 6 players actually full health at this point. Vinny needs to be very careful. They're looking towards connector. Needs information. You can see he's exposed to that ramp. Doesn't know where to stand at this point, but he knows how to frag. Goes down to just 15 points of health, but safely tucks himself back in CD spawn. It's his 3rd kill of the round.
I feel like he needs a Larry as a teammate, and then it'd be perfect. Vinny and Larry. Rez is already occupying ground previously at least watched or considered from the CT side. The fact that he's so far into our jungle, this could still work out. 22 seconds. Bomb with Forrest, and he has an op. He'll clear connector, and he could even peek CT on his own run.
I was going to say, Molotov CT spawn, that would be perfect. But still, bomb does go down. Forrest needs to find a shot here, bring it into equal situation. He just has to hope no one's going for the flank at this point and just take a bit of a gamble in that respect. It has worked out. He will have the A ramp, and his teammate goes down. Forrest left in a 3 versus 1. Certainly capable of pulling this off.
And he knew he had to peek again right away. Give him the time. Vinny with 4. And it'll be another round for Furia. This is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
They get that back, and Vinny with 4. Caserado with 1. Credit to Vinny. It did back off, give them the site and give them the plant, but with 15 HP, he had no choice but to do that, and it works out for them.
That's another round. They keep 3 players alive. The double AWP setup continues, and it just goes to show when things get really, really bad for you, just changing the system up, waiting until you can get everything purchased that you want. The double AWP setup seems to be working nicely. It can be worth just taking a few ecos and taking it on chin and then grinding your way back before it's too late. If you made that decision like round number, I don't know, 12 or something like that, and you realize that's the system that was going to work, you'd be kicking yourself. So they've done a great job, and they could actually come back and win this half. We'll see if that's possible now, as smokes towards top of middle will suggest CT presence pushing, and that's why Lekro reacts in that manner. He'll fall right back and see if any CTs want to push through with a flashbang, but it's all there as a bit of a ruse, just to kind of sow some seeds of doubt in towards the heads of NIP there. In this case, Arato with the Molotov will push forward and try and get some intel here with the AWP.
Rez in the kitchen. Vinny's already trying to put pressure through the wooden window. It's always so satisfying. Very rare, but so satisfying if you get a kill through that. And that single player at B, he just wants information. He just wants to do damage, but he pays the price for it. Caserado gets the shot on the AWP. Rez draw. Forrest has to act quickly. A lot of damage done on Yuri, and that's easily able for Forrest, or I should say easily for him to collect on it, but gets dropped in the after by Art, who then goes back to the window. Lekro worked his way up on Kawa. All subsequent countered angles and trades working out in favor of NIP. Dinks, in fact, both ways for Vinny and Lekro. It's the advantage to NIP.
Yeah, but maybe not for long. Time is ticking away. Caserado still there with the AWP, but bomb planted at this point in an open position, and that should confirm things. AWP in a 3 versus 1, not really the ideal weapon to make this sort of play work, especially when you're locked out from the vent itself. He's hoping a mistake is made. You can see him holding in that B kitchen, just looking for anyone who might overextend at this point, but the spree of rounds that Furia built up has been shut down, and IP maintain their healthy bank balance, as you can see on the right-hand side of your screen. Even before winning this round, they're all hovering around 3K. And they're going to get 3,500 for each player on top of that. So they're going to have plenty of cash, revitalizes them, as Dennis, he loves a USP, picks one up in spawn, and it will be the AWP saved, and you can see, Matt, Art, Vinny, and Yuri all sub $1,000. So I think they will buy this, whatever happens. Is that like in a double eco situation anyway, and they've got an AWP saved, might as well go for it. Might as well see what you can do. Able can actually drop a secondary AWP. They get SMGs, pistols around that. It's a viable round. I would say take it. There's a secondary AWP, so we're going in.
Well, yeah, at 8-3 and you're on the CT side, you really want to keep this as close as you possibly can. So I can understand the mentality of bringing out that double up. I agree with you. Do it. Get right. Dennis, looking through some of the old guard again. My phone has died, and I use my phone to look up these statistics. I saw the tweet from Peter. I think it was the fifth oldest team at this event now, which is... Yeah, I mean, I guess kind of not surprising when you consider they've been in CSGO the longest.
Indeed.
In many ways. Not the longest, but just about.
Tactical timeout. You can hear the music building the tension now as Furia have to make their decisions. Like we said, we've already seen that secondary AWP purchase, so they will go for this one. Why not? You save the AWP, and here's the final look of the buy. 2 AWPs, UMP, CZ, and an AUG as well. They have bare bones utility, and this is where NIP will try and capitalize upon that and go for an execution towards B by the looks of things, a B split. Setting 2 players up short by the looks of things, and then trying to pincer the bomb site. You can see them actually going very quietly and negating the AWP presence there towards connected. Dennis spots him, or did he not? I think they in the smoke. That's not the case. As they're heading towards B, 2 kills come through. Really well done. That's a great call. The fact you're doing executions like that, when you know their money's weak, it can normally work out so well for you. But they still have to check this position. Not going to do it. Bomb to be dropped, but shouldn't lose in the round.
Yeah, gave him a chance. I mean, even one more teammate up if he still had that position, and he would have been in a spectacular scenario. Good find. They didn't check it, got the bomb, but had to swing out and immediately find another kill, and his rotations weren't quite in position as of yet. Still, though, again, it's a chance. They're 3-on-2. It's only one man better, and an AWP and an AUG. It's all to play for. the window, but they don't really act on it. Abel got up there faster than I thought. I didn't expect he'd be able to jump up that quickly, but finds Forrest, falls afterwards. Op needs to be saved. It's going to be 9-3 for NIP.
Yeah, well, there you go. They gave it their all. Had to fight for it. They know the Rico next round anyway. Doesn't really work out for them. The B split, we saw it building up there. Works out very nicely. This was actually suspected by that smoke towards middle. It could have all fallen apart there. But didn't get punished and managed to make their way towards B. Got the first 2 kills. Bomb planted. There was a player boosted up in the site. But that position really is a one and done. You need your teammates to really take the attention away before that becomes a deadly spot. It gets 1 kill before it's shut down. They save the AWP again. And this time they probably have to eco. It's not really that situation. You can all force up with CZs around the AWP. I just don't think at this point that's the idea they need to be approaching this situation with. Take the full eco, try and save the AWP. That's going to be the main objective. If you get the first pick, maybe there's a chance. We'll see where he positions himself, and he's going for a big play here towards the underpass.
Yeah, this is quite a play. Getting all the way through. It's got a dragon lore. He'll hold off, let the pistol get up close. And he's already looked back to mid as well to cover off the counter approach. Just Get Right works down in that direction. No one inside of the B apartments, but the fact that the pistol's gone so far actually means they can flank out, get that information. And this single shot, this op, is going to buy space. The fact that he also knows there's a chance to retreat with no one toward the apartments, that would have been huge. Smoked himself off for exactly that, but Forrest knows it's a corridor. Fire into it, you're pretty sure to find him at least.
Well, there still is a slight chance here, but the AWP has been removed now. We'll see. With the P250 and this backstab coming through, this is pretty much the only chance they've got to win in the round. First shot will not land and a couple of kills come through. It's just Vinny now, who is still in the Palace position. Had those kills come in with the P250, let's say he finds one, there's a chance him winning the round. But now it's the Zeus that will be brought out and taken down very quickly. Double digits for NIP in the first half on the T side of Mirage here. Furia, this is not the team I was expecting.
It's not. It's not certainly the hype that we've been hearing about. And sure, we just finished touching on the fact that there's so much talent that we still haven't discovered down in the Brazilian region. Experience hits you hard when you come to these stages sometimes. So definitely getting a tough taste of NIP and all they've accomplished over the years. Some Brazilians don't care about accomplishments, but some do matter.
Many do, though.
It's true.
Well, this is the boost, I think they might be saying that. Chance for it at least, but Art's actually going to be fighting towards middle. This is looking like a very quick round. Lekro really solidifying himself as one of the best riflers in Sweden, I would say. Really quite fantastic in those chaotic close-range situations. He finds 2 quick kills. He's still alive and kicking, and it's up to Vinny now, using the AUG scope to perfection there, to pick off the head of Dennis there, pushing off the body shot. And there still is a chance here. That's a nice position. Good awareness from Serato. We better pull this one back, and it comes down to this kill here. Art goes down to 43, and you can see the terrorist retreating there. That's Lekro on low HP. He readdresses the situation, gets the kill, and finds them the advantage.
Bomb to be planted. Default Vinny. Oh, couldn't quite get a position that time to find another spectacular AUG scope shot. Instead, it's the bigger weapon with the optics on top, the AWP that gets the kill, and Serato very nervously saving towards spawn.
AK-47 for him this time. He's been saving the AWP over and over again. This time it's the rifle. He's in CT spawn though. And if anyone comes in his direction, it's likely he goes down, but they look to be exiting through the A ramp, so at least save that. It's going to be 11-3. It's not quite the game I was expecting. You'd think of the opening game of the tournament, an unknown quantity like Furia, up against NIP. We know have been struggling. Obviously, we've missed a couple in the past, and I wasn't expecting NIP to look so strong. It's been a while since we've seen them at a LAN, to be honest. I know they're a hard-working team. They're hungry to prove themselves still. A couple of them coming to the expiry day of their career, I guess it's fair to say. And sure. Just want to really give it one last push, maybe one more year and a half or so, just to show that they can keep competing at this level and get deep in majors. Yeah, I mean, if they won a major early on, they played in all 3 of the first major finals. Kind of like the Na'Vi of the Dota world, where they played in won an international, played in the next 2 international finals. S4's puck ulti was against them. I know nothing about this. So
it's all right. It's a great game. Someday maybe I can teach you a little bit about it. I'm not that great anymore. I think I'm actually terrible now, but that's fine. Dennis, topside mid. Look, all Valve games are great, Henry. Repeat after me. All Valve games are great.
All of
Good. You're going to get paid this event now.
Thank you so much. That's really comforting. Well, round 15, and what seemed like a resurgence from Furia when they got the double AWP set up. We saw 3 rounds on the board. We thought, right, they're right back in this now, but fortunately for them, they didn't pick this round up. 12-3 on the T side. It's pretty much done, I'm afraid to say. I'm the pessimist there, but it's going to be a nice kill coming in from the CT at least.
And I'll get one on the board. He needs it up. Guess Rob's going to do better than that, but he's forced to but I'm surprised not to see a counter peek. They wanted to hold off the window at Checker instead. Get gets toward the center of the site. It's Yuri wanting to walk in. He's spotted. They know exactly where he is. Get slow enough that he can't necessarily confront him.
All right, Get Right.
Still wants to. Yeah, why not? He's feeling confident today. Confidence is great. Lekro's got the kill. Forrest follows it up. It's down to just Arts. And I don't know if he's got a big enough brush for this round. Trying to pick a bigger one up, in fact, but couldn't do so. So we get a smoke out. That allows an entry. Covers off the mid site. Only had to focus on Forrest, and Forrest is well and truly fixed on him with the scope.
Well, the Ninjas deliver absolute pain in the first half. Furia expected so much. We saw a great team at the minor, but yet to see them really show us their full potential so far. It's 12-3 at half. They've got a lot of work to do. Can they fight back? You're going to have to find out after this break.
The action continues. We bring back legends of old who don't necessarily carry that title anymore. NIP going against a completely new team. A team we've never seen at a major before. Not one player on the roster has been in this position. Furia is struggling, I have to say, however, in their debut, as NIP has a very healthy lead.
They look too comfortable. They haven't done anything too dramatic or exciting or innovative. It's been quite a standing game from NIP. Their stars have shone. They've looked great. And unfortunately for Furia, I was hoping to see that individual prowess, the talent come through and find them some great clutches or some fantastic, exciting moments. The only real rounds they won came right down to the wire and with the double AWP setup. And that was the only real exciting moment we had. We'll see if they can pick this pistol up. What have they got? One smoke, a Molotov, and there's a PT-50 there for Vinny, dropped by Hart. And he's actually got himself all the way in towards the A site, but he is alone.
He's alone and doesn't have a lot of info. That smoke down right in the middle is kind of awkward for him. He couldn't commit, didn't want to commit perhaps. And Rez, found him on the drive-by. Vinny got the response. Trades could still help the attacking team, especially on a pistol round, because if they get that bomb down, they rely on the defuse, and there's only one kit. It's Lekro that has it. They've lost Dennis as well. Lekro having that kit just means no armor. So this is looking all right now for Furia.
Yeah, they need this round. Absolutely. They've got a huge advantage here, especially with Vinny there with the PT-50 towards that connector. Forrest, they find one, but Lekro with the aim punch will be removed from the equation. Same story for Get Right. Forrest might be able to get one kill there. He's going to not quite finish off Gaze Sarata, and that'll be the round. Gets him down to 8 HP. It was a weird round there. The fact they had one player in the form of Art with no armor walking towards the A site alone, gets an information. It's actually clear they're playing a retake setup essentially on the CT side. His teammates come through, connector Rez with a nice drive-by shot. Well, that's pretty much all they got out of it. Couldn't connect the dots there, and it's a much-needed pistol round. Victory from Furia. And I am seeing a force buy here from NIP. Now, usually I would say you do not want to force buy here. You've got a 12-3 lead at the start of this half. You've lost the pistol. Now you're potentially setting up a 3-0 and a difficult first gun round for yourself. We'll see if that rings true. As the UMP's out, the scouts there. We'll see if some mistakes are made, though. The Deagles on NIP are pretty dangerous, actually. Lekro is considered one of the best Deagle players in the game. So we'll see what he can do.
Serato, good nade. That'll do. Oh, wow. Significantly less damage than I expected out the Force to 2 HP. The Flames do significantly more onto Lekro. He falls to 53. A bit of a mistiming, I think, on the Molotov towards CC, but it might have come out. Shots to Get Right. Better off, because if that AK committed and actually, with 3 players there, got that in their hands to complement the scout, which has now found a spectacular headshot, we could have a very different round on our hands. No bomb plant, despite this very forward stance on the A side. The bomb's only getting there now. So he's in an okay position to try and take advantage of it.
Right, doing what he can with that scout, but like I said, this force buy always going to be difficult, especially when someone gets planted. They have got a kit there, but need frags, and they need them very quickly. Desperate attempts at the Desert Eagle wallbang coming through, but kills found of the AKs and Galil. And in quite a simple manner, I have to say, this kill should come through. Well, apparently for Forest it does, and they won't be able to win this round, but can they save the Deagle and Mac-10 combo they have? You see Electro hunting for anything, and there it is. It will be Furia picking that round up. Has to be an eco for an IP next, but they have a couple of Deagles and a Mac-10. Might not be the cleanest of rounds for Furia, but they should be able to pick it up, no problem.
The detonates, so they start off with 2 at the half. Spy didn't really yield much for NIP. Means they've got to sit tight this time as well. Happy to do so at 12-6. We're going to be potentially, presumably, and yeah, lots still to work with. For them, this is exactly the start that they would have wanted. I'm sure there would have been some sort of confidence saying that you're going up against the least experienced team at the major in your first game, but also some uncertainty in that regard. So yeah, this is what NIP wants. Get through this. Certainly takes any doubts out of their mind, and they can move on and find out who they play for our next round in the Swiss system. And it's all seeded. I love that. I actually do love that. That's awesome.
That's the one thing we've been missing from majors, I think, throughout, like the random element of any sort of esport competition. There was obviously
there was always like at least one team, usually 2, that like suffered because of that. Like they were knocked out early, and it was like, wow. In another world, they would have been top 4 even, maybe. Indeed. And Art's holding on as they wrap back through the vents. Yuri's going to take down Get Right, so pretty standard thus far for the weapons. AK is important, at least staying up. That's the big ones. Art can afford to be aggressive, so that's why he has. Rez is well aware that they've actually already snuck through. He thought he might be able to catch off the 3rd one. By surprise and get an AK, that would have been a lovely addition to the CT side. But we will go 12-6, as previously predicted. I'm really good at predictions. That one was a hard one.
You nailed that one.
Thank you.
Well, here it comes. Furia confirming things. Dennis, nowhere to be seen on the other side of the map, holding the palace. But unfortunately for him, nothing will be found whatsoever. P2000 is looking for any sort of exit frag, any mistake, a chance for them to talk about the next round as well. Like I said, it's always going to be difficult, forced by that second, especially a map like Mirage. You've got the 12-3 lead, I think just win out with the gun rounds. There's no need to try and steal away and things quickly. That's always the way I've looked at it, at least. And he's got the Zeus out, so...
yeah, second time we've seen someone holding a Zeus, just like hoping it's going to work for them. It was Vinny in the first half. So now we see the buy, and we do see the buy. We can all see the buy even when we're not in game. Isn't that spectacular? I love CS.
It is.
We're so good at things that we do now for production. God, way to go, team. 3 AUGs.
And 1 AWP in the hands of Arts, who's been dangerous in terms of his lurk potential in the early senses of this T side. But Dennis seems to be doing damage here with the rifles. It's a back and forth affair towards middle. Arts will pull 1 kill back, but he's alone with the bomb. Needs to be very careful. Let's get some backup now from Vinny as they start to head towards B by the looks of things. Advantage NIP, though, looking for their 13th round. The B side is where Furia will focus their efforts. But waiting on the other side, of course, is Lekro. Jumping across, though, well-timed flashbang will gain them access towards the bomb side. Lekro, if he gets 1, that should be enough for his teammates to rotate over. Sneak cool trade, though, so still on for Furia here. Lovely stuff from Forrest. He gets the kill through the smoke, and Arts actually has probably the ideal weapon in this scenario, considering he's looking for a really quick opening pick. Anyone pushing through the smoke, but NIP at this stage just need to hold and wait for his next move.
Get right, getting around behind, though.
Locks him in.
Yep, absolutely. There's nowhere for him to go. That op's got to go down at this point in time, 55 seconds. I suppose he could fight his way out. But looking that direction, when we know there's already one at the door, as soon as he fires a shot,
he can't even unscope now.
Oh, hang on. How's he do this? Trade. Has to be. Back through the window. Got away with that. This is still... All right.
Oh, my gosh.
There, he's being rather evasive. He's got a bomb. At the very least, he's... Oh, did he run too soon? That's going to cost him dearly. And now Forrest on the chase is even ready for the repeat. He anticipated that as well.
I tip my hat to him, though. That was a great effort. Did everything he possibly could to even make that possible for him. So he gets that first kill. Actually jukes out Forrest to some extent there. Almost got away with it. But once he got tagged up, his idea was, well, he's expecting me to run towards A. Maybe I'll catch him out. Knife out, chasing me. But Forrest, he's been around for some time. Not his first rodeo. He's aware of all the tricks in the game and was ready to close things out. This was that moment here. Hopefully we'll see it. There it is. As he confirms the round. Edges NIP 1 step closer to victory here, 13-6. This round, if they can pick this one up cleanly, that will pretty much do it. If Furia can reset them, though, they'll still have a chance. A fighting one of that if they can find 13-7 here. Krieg's been brought up by Vinny.
Yeah, we talk about the AUG being so prominent because obviously the M4 doesn't have the same headshot potential. AK still does.
Yeah.
So we don't see the Krieg as much. This might be the first Krieg we've seen all day.
We did see one earlier, but I think it was just like, I made the point of it. It's not as exciting now as the AUG because it's not as essential because, like you said, the AK just is king right now in the CT side and indeed T side as the NIP find the opening frags once again. Like we said, they don't necessarily have a main AWPer, but Dennis, Forrest, Lekro, and even Rez sometimes pick up the AWP. They're all pretty fantastic with it. Anyone who's very good at aiming, which NIP are, they're going to be able to use that weapon no problem at all. We saw Automatic, for example, pick up the AWP for Cloud9. He's never known to be an AWPer and just a fantastic aimer and take enough time to learn the weapon and how to position it. Like, he's always going to be good at that role. So it's still absolutely viable as Lekro will be waiting on the other side here. Mag 7 in hand, just trying to delay at this point. Doesn't want to give himself up at all. Knows he needs just one kill, delay them as much as he can. Be a nuisance, essentially, especially now as his teammate's been dropped.
Jumping and absolutely nailing it. Lekro with the Mag 7. And they're only left alive. And I think that they're well aware he's coming in from Catwalk. They are now. AKs are loud. They make noise. Everyone knows where that noise came from. And he's left with 6 HP after the nade was thrown in his direction. So bail. Bug out and go home. But Get Right, he's actually already in his home. And therefore he's...
Oh dear.
Why did he pull out the Molotov then?
I guess he didn't get the information that the guy was 6 HP and he was just trying to finish things off quickly. I don't know. You are right. There's no reason to do that. Just keep the rifle out, but it's inconsequential, really, apart from the fact he saves the rifle. What's the situation on their side? They have been reset. I guess they'll be tempted to the force by now. You're 14-6 down. You can't really let them get 15-6. So, if anything, maybe it does have an impact. We'll see. As they're going to force up around it, Yuri probably has to drop a Deagle, and I'll see what they can do. Great work by Rez. I'll play out. And it seems to be learning rapidly, exploded onto the scenes in, what was it, 2017 at Oakland? Was that the one they picked up?
Yes, he was the MVP.
And that's when we really saw his true potential. We haven't seen that peak since, but now he's more consistent. He doesn't have to be the superstar every game.
The double and only Oakland victors.
Yes.
They are the Oakland champions. And it's the only event they've really had any success in. And then, oh, sorry, actually, we're going to move that to Chicago. We can't have you in anymore. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, you're out.
Nip was probably not too pleased.
Execution. I think they're pretty much fully committed. Like I said, they have to force by this one. They have got that safe rifle. Gerrit could have denied that, but if they win this round, it doesn't really matter. He makes up for it with a nice quick kill to open things up. Does he have anything else left in the tank?
Gerrit still he holds all the cards by waiting, and by waiting he draws their attention. That allows the push through from Rez. He's answered eventually by Kisarotto, but watch Able J. Watch Able J go down from a distance, from Forrest's perspective, because it looked like he would get the flank instead. Dennis found it on the AWP. Bomb now dropped inside of the site, and it's going to be map point for NIP. So they'll join presumably at 15-6. I'm thinking to myself, but they'll likely join in the 1-0 bracket at the end of this. And there's some punishing opponents on the bottom side of the bracket now as well, as we already know Fnatic is down there. Avangar, we said it. Look, if they don't make it through the challenger stage, fine. I'm not going to be overly surprised or sad about it, but I likewise could see them going through quite convincingly as well. So
no one really knows in the major, man. Nothing makes sense. Nothing comes together. It's all...
That's life in general.
Yeah, it's just at this particular event, it always seems that there's... no one can predict what's going to happen. Like the opening games of this major in particular, like everyone knows there's going to be upsets, but no one ever says it's going to happen. You know, like, no one really said Peach is going to own Fnatic to open things up. It's kind of a nuts situation, but needless to say, I feel like this will be the final round of Furia Art. He has been pretty sneaky, but that's cost him a lot of HP.
Unfortunately, there's nothing he can do with that this time, because there's no one up close that's like thinking they're secure because of it. So really, look, Forrest is already thinking there could be someone there. He has 7 HP. He can't even take the fight at this point.
Sure. But down he goes. That should be a bomb in the B halls. 5 players up for NIP. Any firepower Furia had has been removed, and it's looking likely to be 16-6. And remember, that's just the backer of NIP force buying that second round in the second half. Really wouldn't recommend that in a best of one with this sort of scoreline in the first, but it really doesn't matter if they win out convincingly. It's just go to show. I feel like that's what they should have done initially. But they've won match. It's all come together. It's looking good.
Dennis closing out on Kisarotto. It's all onto our boy Vinny. He's got that thing crust Manhattan pizza. Electro takes him down, and Able J falls next. It is 16-6. So far, it's the most one-sided scoreline we've seen on this stream, but hey, look, these guys are new. They're making their debut. Get the nerves out of the way. NIP, on the other hand, will move on to 1-0, and this is exactly the way they would have started, or excuse me, wanted to start off the major.
Really wanted to see more from Furia. I'm excited at the prospect. NIP looks solid. There were no real criticisms to make there at all in their game plan. This Furia, you'd expect a Brazilian team with this sort of reputation after what they performed, their performance at the minor. We thought we'd see some crazy clutches, some individual performances that were unbelievable. We didn't really see anything. We saw them scrape together 3 rounds, courtesy of that double orb setup, but that's pretty much it. Everything else was quite flat. NIP barely broke a sweat, and that's good news for NIP, but Furia, if they want to make a dent in this major and turn some heads, they really need to turn on in the next game.
Well, hopefully they can turn things around. There's been a lot of hype and a lot of encouragement for this team, and certainly they want to make a dent to make a name for themselves at this major. That said, someone else who's made a name for himself throughout a career, an illustrious career in the gaming industry, it's Alex Machine Richardson.
Thank you very much.